What is up, guys? EJ here, aka PuckBond007, and welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100, this great collaboration channel on YouTube and Facebook and now Instagram that I am proud to be a part of. So this week is not nominated week, of course, with the Academy Awards tomorrow night. We decided to move up this week, talking about films that have not been nominated for Oscars. So yeah, instead of talking about one film, I figured, since I like making lists, I'd do 10 films. Actually, it's going to be 11. So yeah, I decided to do a little bit of research for this video and try and figure out some great films that I have in my collection that were never nominated for any Oscars. So I picked 11 films. The reason why I have 11 instead of 10 like my normal top 10 list is because I wanted every decade represented from the 1930s onwards. So it's not just movies in recent years. So there's some classic films in here. All of these are fantastic films. Yeah, I did a little research, like I said, and found a couple of articles naming 50 great films that have been never nominated for an Oscar. And some of them surprised me, some of them didn't, and these are the ones that really caught my eye. So I'm going to count down, not necessarily from 11, but starting off with a film from the 1930s, and that is Charlie Chaplin's City Lights from 1931. Fantastic silent film, one of the pinnacles of Charlie Chaplin's career. Of course, he famously never won for Best Director or Actor. I think he won for the music for one of his films. Yeah, I think he won for Limelight in 1952. But yeah, City Lights received 0 Oscar nominations. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, moving on to a film from the 1940s. I love film noir, and this is one of the best of all time, and I was really shocked that it didn't receive any Oscar nominations, and that is The Big Sleep from 1946, produced and directed by Howard Hawks. Fantastic film starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. How neither of these two received a Oscar nomination for their acting or the adapted screenplay from the Raymond Chandler novel. One of the best film noirs of all time, The Big Sleep. Next, a couple films from the 50s. The first one really shocked me, and that is The Searchers from 1956. One recognized as one of the greatest westerns of all time. It always appears in the top 10 list of Sight and Sound's best films of all time. Yeah, The Searchers from 1956. John Ford, John Wayne. How John Ford, he's won the most director Oscars he won 4, but how he was not nominated for this film is kind of mind-boggling. John Wayne is Best Actor. You've got great supporting actors like Natalie Wood and Ward Bond. The cinematography, they had the categories split, I think, at the time, color and black and white. How the color photography wasn't recognized, how this film received 0 Oscar nominations, really surprised me. The Searchers, one of the great westerns of all time. Okay, moving on to another film from the 1950s, and this really didn't surprise me, but I have to include it in the list because Stanley Kubrick's one of my all-time favorite directors, and his film Paths of Glory is one of my favorite movies by him, from 1957. Just a fantastic film. Kirk Douglas, magnificent, just a great anti-war film. The photography, again, is beautiful, beautiful black and white. The last scene with such a touching moment with the woman singing in the bar. One of the best anti-war films ever made. How Paths of Glory received 0 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture and Best Director and Best Actor for Kirk Douglas. Really surprised me. As well, actually, it didn't really surprise me that Kubrick never didn't get nominated because he never won for any of his great films. But yeah, Paths of Glory is one of his best. Alright, moving on to the 1960s film that caught my eye definitely, and that is Breathless from 1960. Fantastic French New Wave film from Jean-Luc Godard, starring Jean-Paul Belmondo and Gene Seberg. Just a fantastic film. How it did not get nominated for Best Foreign Film at the time is beyond me. The fantastic story by Francois Truffaut. Yeah, one of my favorite French films, one of my favorite foreign films, period. Breathless, just a fantastic movie. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Great photography as well in this movie. Gorgeous black and white. Yeah, Breathless, just a fantastic movie. 0 Oscar nominations. Alright, moving on to the 1970s, film and director that definitely I noticed when I saw it on the list, and that is Mean Streets from 1973. Of course, Martin Scorsese's major debut, and Robert De Niro in a fantastic performance. Again, really his first brilliant, great crime film. Of course, Scorsese's films. Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, The Departed. The list goes on and on. How many of those movies have multiple nominations? But yeah, Mean Streets, fantastic supporting cast. People like Harvey Keitel. Yeah, just a great movie. How this wasn't nominated in 1973 is beyond me as well. Mean Streets is my pick for the 1970s. Okay, moving on to the 1980s. 2 films definitely caught my eye, and the first one I'm going to talk about is Scarface from 1983, directed of course by Brian De Palma. Fantastic performance by Al Pacino, and Michelle Pfeiffer, great as well. Now I know Scarface has a lot of detractors. It's kind of dated in parts, but at the time this was one of the best movies of the year as far as I'm concerned. And how Scarface received 0 Oscar nominations. In fact, Brian De Palma got nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst Director. Makes no sense to me because it's a fantastic film. I love it. Scarface, just brilliant, from 1983. And another film from 1980. This one really saddened me, to be honest, when I read up about it, and that is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. From 1980, one of, if not the best horror films of all time. It is my favorite horror movie, and I know horror isn't really roundly recognized by the Academy, except films like The Exorcist and The Silence of the Lambs, if you can even call that horror, which I don't. But yeah, fantastic film. Jack Nicholson's performance, the cinematography, the set design, yeah, the production design, just unbelievable in this film. The Overlook Hotel, one of the iconic buildings in movie history. Yeah, how this film didn't get any Oscar nominations. Again, what saddened me, I read that Stanley Kubrick actually got a Razzie nomination as well for this, The Shining from 1980. So there you have my 2 picks from the 1980s. Alright, moving on to the 1990s. I picked a couple films that caught my eye. I had to leave one out that somebody I'm sure will mention that I left off. But Heat from 1995, written and directed by Michael Mann. Of course, fantastic crime thriller starring De Niro and Pacino. How neither of them got nominated for an actor award is beyond me, and especially the sound editing and sound design of the gun, the shootout, the battle outside the bank alone is worthy of that nomination by itself. Heat, fantastic film, just a fantastic cast overall. People like Val Kilmer, the female people in the cast as well are terrific. Yeah, just a great crime opera. If you like Heat, just a fantastic movie. But 1995 was a great year for film, so still kind of unbelievable that Heat received 0 nominations. And another film that was caught up in a very competitive year, which surprised me as well, is Three Kings from 1999, directed by David O. Russell, who of course had a lot of recent success with his films American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook, but this film really showed his talent as a director from 1999. Like I said, a very competitive year. Fantastic war movie set during the Iraq encounter. Um, George Clooney, Ice Cube, Mark Wahlberg. Just a fantastic movie. Beautiful editing and cinematography in this movie. I absolutely love this film. Uh, this was a great movie, and how it didn't get recognized in that year, 1999, is kind of beyond me as well. Especially since now, like I said, David O. Russell has had a lot of recent success. So those are my picks for the 90s, and finally my pick from the 2000s, probably be a popular choice, and it has to be Zodiac from 2007, directed of course by David Fincher, who of course has been nominated, whose films have been nominated in recent years, like The Social Network and even the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo remake. Zodiac, one of his best films by far. Fantastic, again, crime thriller about the Zodiac murders in San Francisco in the 70s. Fantastic ensemble cast, people like Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, oh, what's his name? I'm forgetting a lot of people's names. Robert Downey Jr., of course. Yeah, just a great film, Zodiac, one of Fincher's best. How it received 0 Oscar nominations, again, completely beyond me. So there you have it, something a little different this week. Not nominated week. Instead of, I like doing top 10 lists, and did a little bit of research. So I came up with 10 great films not nominated for Oscars. 10/11 if you like. Alan yesterday did a review of Maggie, the zombie film from this past year with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Abigail Breslin. So make sure you check out his video, and make sure you check out the videos from the rest of the guys this week. It is Oscar week, so let's talk about some movies that weren't nominated for Oscars. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see ya.
Bond. James Bond.